Hi, everyone. How are you all today?
Good.
Got a few more people that are coming in. Welcome to our book club. This is one of
How is the weather in Houghton, Michigan, Ruth?
oh my gosh, we just had a fabulous day. It was in the 60s.
We are having the same thing and it is fabulous here.
I know it's like snow is a distant memory.
Until tomorrow. No,
People are saying like, oh, well, maybe we won't get any snow this year. Like, that's really, but that's what it feels like right now. Like there won't be any snow this year.
You know, understand. And when they talk about the fact like it's supposed to be a bad winter and it's like, it's a beautiful fall. Come on.
Give it one more minute before we get started.
So work just gave me a new phone, and you know how you're always excited to get a new phone and then you hate it because things don't work the way they used to. And we're in change management, so I know I'm not supposed to say that, but it's true. But now you have to have a password on a DART provided phone, and it used to be four digits. Now it's 6. So now my home phone and my work phone have different passwords, and I find that really irritating.
Do they let you use the fingerprint sensor? That helps.
I think, Tyler, that might have to go to that. It wasn't something that they gave me right away when we were setting it up, but I'm thinking that I need to be there.
Well, it looks like we're just going to be a small group today, and that's okay. So we just going to go ahead, and I'm going to put Erin is here.
Last time we had people kind of join late, so maybe we'll have the same thing.
Yeah.
I just got to say it was a great book.
I thought so too.
It's very inspiring.
I'll just say, I know we're going to talk, but there were so many little quotes in there, like 1 minute, things that I made these little cards that I'm working in a rally room at work that I'm going to put them up and around so people can start just kind of seeing them and think of ways to do their apply for waste elimination.
Oh,
That's a great idea.
hey, it's wonderful. All right, I'm putting the whole document in. I put it in the chat session, if just in a PDF form in case you want it.
Okay.
But just to review the format that we're going to use, we're going to spend well, wait, let's just spend a moment just going around robin and saying hello and who we are. So I'm Ruth Archer, and I'm the Director of Continuous Improvement at Michigan Tech. I'll pass it to you, Jane.
Jane Overbeck. I work for DART Container, and I'm on the board, and I'm the events lead right now.
And Tyler?
Hi, my name's Tyler Phillips. I'm currently the Continuous Improvement Coordinator for the Grand Rapids, Michigan aerospace plant for the Eaton Corporation.
Melissa?
Yes, my marriage. Melissa Sherman. I am a lean coach for Consumers Energy and also on the board as director this year.
Nice. Erin?
Hey, I'm Erin Crickard. I'm from University of California, San Diego. And I'm the director for the Center for Operational Excellence. So we do a lot of Lean Six Sigma and process improvement.
And that's also where the Lean in Higher Ed global conference will be next year, just in case you want to go to a really cool thing, San Diego.
Oh.
Andy?
Hi, my name's Candy Ross. I'm the administrator for Agnar Health Solutions. We are a remote practice that we see and treat patients in nursing home and assisted livings.
Kelly?
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Feaster. I work at Michigan State University. I'm here at the ask of Sherry Margraves, and definitely excited to learn from all of you. This is my first book club that I have attended, and we, as you may know, don't have a dedicated center of excellence or anything like that at MSU, so we're constantly learning best practices to see how we can share them across the university.
Great, welcome.
All right, Andy, did you want to say hello? Maybe not. All right, well, today what we're going to do is do 3 rounds of book discussion. This is one of my very favorite books, and I read it right after it was published, and it really shaped my thinking. Shaped my thinking about lean and continuous improvement. I just get so much actual relief from the idea that we don't have to be perfect, and there's not one right way, and that it's the thinking, not the tools, that these kinds of things help me to be able to continue to improve and to advance improvement at my university. So the way we're going to do it is that we'll set up the round. You'll have 2 minutes to review the questions and collect your thoughts, look in the book if you need to, then approximately 7 minutes, depending on how our timing is going, to discuss the questions. And we have enough for 2 breakout rooms. And then we'll come back and do a short report out from each room. You don't have to tell us everything that you talked about, but one volunteer from your group will tell us something interesting that you talked about in your group. So for round 1, and I'm going to put this, I'm going to put the round 1 in the chat just in case that makes it more convenient for somebody. So for round 1, starting off, Mike Rother, who wrote the Toyota Kata, talks a lot about the 2 interdependent elements of lean: technical concepts and tools, and the people or social side. Most recently, he had a thread about this on Twitter, and so you can go, if you go to Mike Rother's Twitter, you can, a Twitter account, you can, if you just scroll down a little ways, you will be able to see his discussion on this. This author of this book emphasizes the social side of lean really almost exclusively, calling it a psychological tool for solving problems and fostering good change, labeling it Kaizen for managers. So the questions then to think about are, what do you think causes us to focus more on the technical side of lean, and what behaviors or soft skills do you feel are needed for the social side of lean? Then the second question to consider, most of the time when you try to gather suggestions from people, you get quite varied results. The author tells a story about a Toyota manager who said poor suggestions tell them their training of the employee has been ineffective and they can now help them improve. What do you think about that idea? What specifically about the employee's training do you believe would need to be improved? So your group can do either or both of these questions. You can spend a little time on one and none on the other. I mean, it's really up to you what you want to talk about when I put you in the breakout session. So don't feel like you're compelled to answer both. And also, just for the round 3, we have some sort of catch-all questions. If your team group wants to further explore one of the other round questions during round 3, you're also welcome to do that. So you can make up your rules as you go. So I'm going to make 2 breakout rooms. And create them. All right. And now I'm going to open the rooms, and you should see a button for joining a breakout room.
Okay.
Hey, everyone, welcome back. So let's just take a moment then to report out on your discussions in the breakout rooms. Start with room 1. So that's Aaron, John, and Tyler.
Yeah, so we focus mostly on that first bullet point, those 2 questions. I think that we talked a little bit more on the technical side of lean being more focused on was because it's easier to quantify and see those results more quickly. And also, I think just more people are aware of the technical side of lean. It's a little bit easier to implement. And then as far as soft skills, we talked about a large variety of things that are needed for the social side of lean. Some of those could be like communication, resiliency, change management, leadership buy-in, things like that.
Great, thank you. And room 2, Jane, Candy, and Melissa. Can't hear you, Jane.
Like, Jane, you're on mute.
All right, that's right. We always are muted when we come back. So thank you for letting me know that we talked about the technical side of lean, and we had a couple of ideas why people kind of go to the technical side. I thought it was easier to do Kaizen events in the plant versus the office. So it seems like we go after more technical issues. Someone else brought up the point that a lot of us who are lean practitioners have an engineering background, so we tend to be more technical. And someone else brought up the fact that we're very results driven in this. So it becomes technical sometimes because we always want to look at the data. And so I thought all those things were kind of true about why we learn that way. And then when we talked about how do we need to bring in some more of the soft skills, we talked about melding some of the verbal skills with technical so that people really understand what the why is of why we're doing it, what our intent is. And someone else, we kind of have to support flex with different personalities to make sure we're reaching all of the audience. And I think there's a lot of soft skills we need so that people accept the change. Then we went to the second question real quick, and what you had brought up, Ruth, didn't really resonate with us, but the idea about the guy in the book said, if you have a suggestion box, basically you've kind of already lost. Like, he didn't think that was a good idea at all. So we talked about it's hard when you're remote sometimes to get feedback from people. So even with the MLC, we're always asking people when we do surveys, what else do you want to see? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Because that's the only way we can get the suggestions. And someone else said that they have what it's called a waste elimination database. And people from work have gone in and put from, we don't like the cover of the walls, to a bunch of really good suggestions. But they're in the 3rd year of doing it, and they put this out, but they didn't assign anybody who was going to go through everything. So people thought when they put the idea in, someone would acknowledge their idea and go through it. So it's been a really negative experience for people.
What a great example, of what of illustrating how bad it can be, right?
Right. So did I miss anything, team?
I think you got it verbatim almost.
All right, wonderful. Well, let's move into round 2. Let's see if I can. Oops.
Hi, John.
Copy this and paste it into chat. For some reason, it's not pasted there. I hate it when that happens.
Okay, you got to pick someone different in your breakout room to talk this time.
Is that like a rule?
Yep, group participation.
All right, let's see. All right. Oh, I know what's happening. Sorry. It'll refuse to paste, and it just will, nothing will happen. But what it's really trying to tell me is that it's too long. So I'm just going to do it in 2 chunks. I forgot about that. It's a secret message when you can't paste into the chat. The secret message is that it's too long. All right, so for round 2, there are questions that you can discuss inside of your breakout room. Starting in chapter 5, the author says creativity is not a thing, it's an activity. We develop it from a habit of paying attention to what is happening in the moment and responding with curiosity. He goes on to discuss ways you can intentionally develop your creativity, including training yourself in the curiosity response, cross-collaborating, creating small pilot experiments, and asking small questions about big problems. So the question for you then is, what is the smallest thing you could do to further develop your creativity? He's always talking about what's the smallest thing, right? And I just put one of his quotes here. You'll know you found the perfect small step when it is so effortless that you are absolutely certain you can do it. The second question in round 2 is in chapter 6, the author emphasizes that repetition is key to making changes in the brain and provides an outline for what he calls mind sculpture. Mind sculpture is a total sensory experience where you imagine that you are actually performing an activity, bringing all of your senses into the imaginary experience. The goal is to create new habits in your mind first. How do you feel about using mind sculpture? Have you ever tried something like that? There might be an occasion where you might have tried it. And what obstacle that you're currently facing might be a good candidate for trying mind sculpture. Give you a moment to think about this round 2 questions. Hi, JC.
Hi there. I'm a little tardy to the party.
That's okay. We'll get you hooked up here in just a moment.
We're glad you're here.
I'm going to attach to the chat the document we're working from.
I just got an emergency call for work, so I apologize. I'm going to have to step out of the meeting. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We
Okay.
can. Thanks.
Thank you
Kate.
for coming.
Thanks for allowing me to join. I don't think I'll be able to return to this
Oh,
meeting.
sorry to hear that.
That's okay. Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. And first I have to figure out how to get JC in there because it's not showing up. Maybe if I recreate. All right, you're gonna have to give me a moment.
No worries. So one of the things that I thought was really cool in the book was when they talked about Van Halen, and David Lee Roth used to ask for the M&Ms and only the brown ones. And why he would do that, because he felt like if people didn't pay attention to the small details, they were going to have problems with their show. And I thought, you know, you hear these quirky things and someone goes, he wanted only green M&Ms. And I'm like, no, that's not true.
All right, I'm gonna open the rooms up.
Perfect.
You should be able to see a join button. Hi, welcome back. So let's take a moment to report out then on what you discussed in your groups. We'll start with room 2 this time. JC, Jane, and Melissa.
Hi there. I should say, it's Jackie, and I think Jane is
Jackie,
depicting
sorry.
what we were just talking about, like to get outside, to spend like intentional moments of, I guess you could maybe even call it nature bathing, to increase that creativity piece.
Nature bathing. I like it.
Yeah, so we discussed, really thinking about, there's those people that are naturally curious, and that we just kind of need to slow down and listen to help our creativity. Not bringing phones into meetings so that we're there and listening and present. Being more creative in our schedule, so maybe blocking out some time in between to have a downtime to think. Not committing to too much, and then just kind of detaching, detach from the situation, kind of step back and look at things from a higher level to open your mind to be more creative. As we looked at the first question, and then we started to get a little bit into the second one where we started talking about mind sculpting. Some of us didn't realize that it was a habit that we had, and just now could put a name to it. Others have, it's been known as guided imagery, and being more deliberate in using that, say maybe before you go into an interview or before you're teaching a class, or just before anything, right? Where you're going to be in front of people. So did I miss anything, Jane or Jackie?
No, I thought you, I think you got everything.
Wonderful. How about room 1, Erin, John, and Tyler?
Hi. So we talked about actually, to step back, we were saying creativity and mind sculpting as concepts could be a little intimidating. Maybe we just think about it as opening your mind up a little to see if there could possibly be any other ways to do things. Going back to our conversations about safe spaces. I brought up a great exercise that Kevin, a team member of mine, did, that was an exercise walking a team that was moving onto a ticketing system, about imagining actually doing role playing of your phone rings, pick up the phone, what are people saying to you, and how would you change your behavior if you were on a ticketing system? And it was really successful exercise. So kind of even taking it past just that positive mental visualization and into like role play too. And then, yeah, just summing up with mind sculpture sounded really great. And that having it, different people present on projects might be a small thing that somebody could do. But for people who weren't intuitively creative or open, that the concept might be a little scary or intimidating. Yeah,
Sure.
I don't know. Did I cover what we were talking about?
And
Yes, I think you did.
Just a reminder that one of the habits that is really healthy for us to develop in Kaizen is reflection. And so if you don't personally feel like you covered one of these questions well enough, you can use it for your own daily reflection practices. So, all right, we're going to move on to the third round, and this is the catch-all round. This is so that some idea that really captured your attention or something that you felt was really important from the book, this is your opportunity to talk about that, or to bring up things that happened in the previous rounds that you want to talk about more with your group. So what is something that stood out for you in this book? A quote, some advice, a story? Jane shared a story with us. What causes you to resonate with it, and what do you think you might do with that? And what can you commit to doing in the next few days to apply your learnings from this book in your career or personal life? So I'm going to give you a moment to think about that, and then I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. All right, I'm going to move you into your breakout rooms now, and you'll have 7 minutes to have a conversation with this in your room. So you should be able to see the join button now.
Great.
Hi, welcome back. So we're at the end of the third round and we'll do a report out on discussions in your breakout rooms. We'll start with room 1 this time, Aaron, John, and Tyler.
Hi. So I think that what we talked about, or we started talking about and talked about most, is the story from the book about the seminar where he asked everybody if they walked there and how many statues they had passed on the way. So how by the end people knew that answer. I don't know, because they were afraid they were going to get that question again and didn't know it then, but so how it, I guess led people to be more aware of what's around them, looking at the details. The other thing we talked about is it's a really good reminder to focus on basics and making small changes. One thing we talked about is how change in some people or change can lead to more change. Sort of once you change something, get excited to move on to the next thing to change. We used the snowballing analogy, even though we don't want snow anytime soon. And one thing that stood out for me was the graphic of Kaizen's 10-step process, and it lines up with what my company really pushes with the A3 problem solving. So I thought that was a good parallel. And then as far, we didn't really get to the next steps that we were going to do, but I guess the one thing that stood out to me is the small steps, looking for something small to do.
That's great. Wonderful. Good reflection. Room 2, Jackie, Jane, and Melissa.
It was all my group, not me.
We talked about the same things, when he kept saying, ask yourself, what's the smallest step you can take towards improvement? I really like that. I also like the fact that he told you to ask those questions, not to come up with the answer right away. Keep asking yourself, because your mind starts to work. I thought that was really great. Melissa brought up that what is the one way you can save the company $1 today, when he talked about that. And again, it kind of goes back to the small thing. And she said, I did the math. It's $1.8 million consumers could save if everyone thought about that. And that, is that the right number, Melissa? So I thought that was really, really insightful. And then Jackie said, these tiny habits, to keep learning and adding those tools to the toolbox, that they all fit together. You don't always have time for everything, but you get to just keep thinking about these different items. We talked about some commitments. What would we do with what we learned from the book? And Melissa's going to do those spot bubbles that she showed, and she has them on different colored paper. And she's going to communicate some of the things that she learned. Thought. We talked about focusing on being more intentional, like booking some time with yourself so that you can actually do the focus on learning or whatever else it is, and just focus on taking some of those small steps. Did I miss anything, ladies? Okay.
Thank you, Jane, for reporting on us.
Awesome. All right, so I'm just going to do one and what else? We're done with the rounds. We're done with the discussion, but if there's anything that somebody just wants to bring out to the group, this is your moment.
Ruth, thank you for putting this together.
Yeah, thanks for putting it together. And I'll just say, it was a really good book. There was a lot of little aha moments and different things that well, one, reiterated some of the things that I've thought and done, but two, that I can bring to the table and apply as I continue with my lean journey where I'm at consumers. So
Yeah. You know, the one thing we didn't spend a lot of time talking about, I think, was in chapter 8, just when we talk about all the change and like how people feel overwhelmed and isolated and that fear. That's just great stuff to remember when we're trying to do a Kaizen event and push change. So,
Yes, so take a moment. If you haven't gotten to that chapter yet, take a moment to read through it because it does talk about what you do when it's too much. Even a small step seems too much.
yeah.
It's a good chapter.
So, great book. What book is
What's
next?
I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. So there's been some requests for getting off of the track of talking about lean particularly, but and then moving into some of these softer skills. So there's a few books that I might pull together and do another poll maybe that focuses on a softer skill. There's also a couple people that have asked for much harder skill books, but I'm just not that interested in that direction. So I think it's really hard to get people to read a 350-page technical book for a book club discussion. So it has not worked out well in the past for me, but I'm open. I guess I could say I have a small open mind about that.
Okay.
All right, so thank you very much for attending today, and watch for our next book club discussion because you're always welcome. So, and
Thank
it's
you.
also you can see that you can come late and still participate. So thanks for coming. It's great to see you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you.